Warning, this podcast is not intended for anyone under the age of 18. Adult material included. If you are easily triggered or sensitive, please stop listening now.
Going, recording. I'm back to UnNamed Podcast. All right, boys, you ready?
Ready.
Ready, Freddy. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Welcome to Digital Course UnNamed Podcast. I'm your host, 10 Pounds of Bacon. Joining me this week, we have Almighty.
What's up, man?
What's up, man? How's it going? Jaeger.
How's it going, guys?
Killicron.
What's going on, everybody?
Manny.
What's going on, everybody?
And Yandu.
Hey, y'all.
All right. So just to tell you about ourselves, we're just a group of friends who are all gamers. We enjoy gaming. We just want to share our thoughts with you. So with that said, we'll go ahead and get things started. And one of our first topics is, what are we playing? So we'll just go down the list. Almighty, what are you currently playing at?
Currently, I'm playing Warframe and Star Citizen. I'm tied in between those two. Star Citizen is in alpha at the moment, so it has a little bit of glitches, but I still enjoy the graphics of the game.
Yeah. How many hours have you spent on Star Citizen?
Oh my gosh, dude. You don't want to know.
Yeah, my
Too many.
How long has it been in the alpha mode?
12 years? No. It's 7 or 8, I think. Something like that.
And it's going to stay there for 7 or 8 more years.
No. They said that maybe it'll be in beta by next year. Maybe.
Yeah, once they get like another $120 million donation.
They're at
Star
200
Citizen's
million.
a whole podcast.
Oh my gosh. I could go all day about Star Citizen.
All right. So before we keep bombarding Almighty with Star Citizen, but I actually agree, Almighty. You need shit. Anyways, let's move on with some of the other guys and playing, and then we'll come back and revisit Star Citizen. Jaeger, what you been playing?
Dude, all I've been playing is Overwatch.
Oh my goodness. All right, Jaeger. Any other games besides Overwatch?
It's competitive, and I just like clicking heads,
All right,
killing people.
fair enough.
He secretly
Overwatch,
wants to play
buddy.
Warframe. That's what he wants to do.
I know, deep down inside, man, I know there's something else.
And Pokemon Go.
He has Minecraft in his heart.
Yes.
I usually play Pokemon Go, and I drive around in the car getting
Hey, we
freaking
might be,
Pokemon.
we'll have to talk about that as well.
Yeah, you're one of
Kill-
those people who put it on the ceiling fan.
Killicron, what you been playing, man?
I've been playing some Gears. Back on Gears, new Gears 5's coming out. A little bit
Yes.
of Spider-Man, What else?
Come on, man.
I got going? Been playing Alice with you guys.
Yeah. We
Um,
got rated. We won't talk about it.
yeah. Gave up on that.
Were we rated? I didn't even know
Yeah,
we were rated.
rated
Oh
a
yeah,
couple-
that's right.
Yeah,
That's
couple
right.
times, man. When Bacon was gone.
I joined back. I threw a bet up, and we're back in business. But yeah, we
Hashtag
definitely.
casual gaming.
Yes,
It's
sir.
It reminds me of a story about Ark. I remember these were playing Ark, and it was another game that was just 24 hours a day servers, texting each other at 3 o'clock in the morning. Get up, we're getting raided. Get in there.
Or spamming A to join the damn server because it's, full. Anyway, so actually, let's go to Moment next. Yandu, Moment. What are we gonna call
no
you?
worries,
Moment,
no worries.
Yandu?
It's okay. I'm the guy who changes my gamer tag, so everybody gets confused and gets mad at me. But Yandu right now, hello. I've been playing Overwatch, kind of like Jaeger. Love that game, hate that game at the same time. Warframe as well, like Almighty, and I like my PlayStation exclusives, so I've been doing Horizon Zero Dawn right now. But that's about the 3 games I've been playing right now.
Nice. Manny, what about you, man?
Yeah, actually, I've been doing a little bit of Red Dead Online, and then of course I like to do a little bit of the mobile gaming. The Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is probably things that I spend a lot of time.
Oh, nice. We'll have to talk a little bit more about that. I have absolutely no clue what that game is, but I've heard a few people talk about it actually at work from all places. But
I thought you were like Angry Birds champion, Manny.
I was, but once I hit my peak and I figured that it was time to retire, I called it a career.
You
They
can
have
only do
Angry
so
Birds.
much,
They
and then you
have
got to move
Angry
on.
Yeah, they have Angry Birds 2 coming out, so you might have
uh-oh.
title.
Oh man, might get me back into it.
Well, we'll finish it off with myself here. I've actually been back to Gears, playing with Kilcron a little bit. Looking forward to playing with Manny as well. We might have a little bit of a session after this, if not mistaken. So looking
When you
forward to
guys
that.
play, are you guys playing on PC or you guys playing on Xbox?
Well,
PC. We're both
The
PC
times
right
that
now.
I've jumped on PC.
Well, Manny, let me tell you, what a great time to be alive. While Kayla and I play on PC, you can play on your Xbox, and it's crossplay. We can play together, so it's not bad,
Nice.
man. Yes, sir. So yeah, playing a little bit of Gears, obviously Atlas as well. I probably need to get back to it. I actually was asking Jaeger. We're still doing that since sometimes we can't make up our minds, but definitely spend some time with that, and then look, see where it goes.
So just Gears.
Just Gears, man, and a little bit
Just
of Atlas. A little bit of
A
Atlas.
little bit of Atlas. Okay. Except when we're getting raided.
No. I'm back in there. I'm back in there. I'm not gonna let go. I won't let go. Refuse.
I'm looking forward to the updates on the game because it has room to grow for sure.
Perfect. Well, now that we all kind of shared a little bit as far as what we're playing, Almighty, if you don't mind, I would like to go back to Star Citizen. You know, that game's been either people love it or people hate it. I know a lot of controversy behind it, but I know you've been enjoying it, which is really what matters if you like it. So
Now, the only two opinions in this cast that can give an opinion
Oh, boy.
is myself, and Yandu actually has it as well. And
I do.
he played it. Of course, it's probably been a while since you played it, but I'm a Star Citizen. Okay, quotation fingers. I follow the lore. I listen to podcasts. I try to watch the updates and stuff with the game. So it's definitely grown a lot over the last, say, year and a half. They've really started pushing a lot. They have procedural generated planets now. You can, get into your ship and fly to the planet, and the planets are massive, like insanely massive, biggest like land square footage in any game I've ever seen. The detail is amazing.
Almighty, if not mistaken, when you talk about the planets, you can. One of the cool things about the game is that besides being procedurally generated, you can fly in and out of planets, explore within the planets. Right, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with that, right?
Well, yeah, it started out as a space shooter type game,
Okay.
but now it's kind of morphed into this it's going to be this MMO, which is a complete community. You're going to have the spaceship battle gameplay, but you're also going to have that first person gameplay as well. They're still tweaking things, they don't have things quite right with the flight system at the moment, but you don't really need that at this point. You can just
Okay.
fly around and just be in complete and utter awe of everything that you're looking at. And
What would be some of the cons that you see with the game right now?
It's never going to be done. That's one of them.
If you could just send them some more money, that would be great.
What if you get lost in outer space? Is that possible?
Yeah, it is. But you can set a beacon, and there's actually people that are going to be set up to come and find you and take you back.
Oh, thank God!
There is going to be a penalty of death too, so there's a little bit of risk into it. Some of the cons is I think the community can sometimes be too loud to where it's making Cloud Imperium, which is the company that makes the game, it makes them take longer because they're trying to, listen to everybody, and sometimes I wish, they would turn it down just a little bit. I mean, I think it's good to have that feedback, but actually have direction in the game, and just get it out. Like they focus a lot of time and money on polishing the game when it's just in an alpha state. I don't feel like they don't need to do that right now. They just need to, get the mechanics right, then polish, and then.
How much did you have to pay for the, I guess whatever it would be before the alpha?
Well, kind of to get into the game. Isn't there like a ship or something?
Yeah, you have to have a ship in order to play in the universe. There's an optional. They're gonna have like a first person campaign type thing, which is like a little bit more. But to play the game, you only need like $30 to get a ship, and that's
what
it.
it reminds me of is it reminds me of like when we first got to first we're playing with like Ark, for example. You played for like the beta, and then when they finally rolled out the real game, they like charged you another fee for it. I was like, what the hell?
Dude, Yandu and I were on the beta on Ark, and that was not fun. It was glitchy.
I mean, you say it wasn't fun, but it was fun. We were getting 10 frames a second, yes, but it was one of those games where you just knew when you played it, like, whoa, this is different. This is fun. Like, we're stranded on a beach in our underwear grabbing berries, and a T-Rex is walking by. This is amazing, and you could see the potential,
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
I
get
think-
that same feeling as well when I play it.
I think it's the whole culture behind, early access. But well, I mean, with that said, that's kind of like the state of gaming right now, where early access is a big chunk of what we're playing now. But it's what it is. But
it's
well-
definitely it's handled by some developers well, and it's not handled by other developers. Like I mean, you look at Anthem and where that's ended up versus the what was promised versus a game like Ark, where it came out of nowhere
that's
to
actually
where
a
it
good
ended up. I mean, that's a cult following game. Ark, there's still
Yeah.
a ton of people playing Ark, and like a game like Anthem, where
I-
Right.
I don't know.
another thing that the way that I look at that too is, and I think Yanda, you were kind of mentioning this too, is so yeah, early access, but I mean, at the end of the day, how you guys put in quite a bit of hours, right, on the game. So I know a lot of people make that argument that, well, was it worth the money that I put to it? I don't know if it was $20-$30 or whatever the case was when Ark came out, but I mean, you got quite a bit of time out of it, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. So you definitely got your money's worth, based on time alone. And it seems like you guys had, I remember when I joined Ark, I remember that thing couldn't even play on my PC. And but it was still fun. So the fact that you guys enjoyed it and have fun, I guess that's the big takeaway.
Yeah, I paid $15 for it, and I
Yeah.
got like 900 hours just on PC alone.
Yeah,
That doesn't include
400. Yeah.
on the
Let's take into
Xbox.
consideration like the little joystick, the little air flight simulator that you created in your office, eliminating the kids' room. So not just $15.
The funniest part about that whole thing is, to me, like, Ark is in its best state. Like right now, if you boot up Ark on your PC, man, it's gonna run at 60 frames a second. It's gonna look beautiful.
Super
I'll probably
optimized.
never play the
That's
game
nice.
again. I played it in its worst state ever when it first came out, but people like us are the ones that made that game continue. But now that it's in its best state ever, I'll probably never play it again. I don't know. Maybe I will.
Oh man,
And-
that game was so much fun with all
Yeah.
the freaking mods that you could do. Remember one time freaking Jaeger was on there, he like created like this super fast, like go and tame whatever the hell you want wherever you wanted on the map. Like that's when it was fun. Not gathering wood and rocks and spending
think-
hours.
I think Manny's
trees.
forgetting that he
Yeah.
took a couple of the T-Rexes with him that took like a day and a half to tame.
And I
And
feel like
in
Manny's
2
forgetting
minutes.
that his favorite part of the game was gathering rocks and wood.
And wood, that's
Yeah.
right.
Running
But the
around like
PvP
the
point of
tree.
it,
The PvP.
the PvP was probably some of the best. There's so many memories that I have of us playing PvP that were memorable. Like I remember like drunk Yandu going off the side of a cliff with
Never.
the Giga
Oh, fuck.
in
Hey,
fear
how does that
of.
thing survive? I don't know.
Dude, I was worried that he was going to rage when he hit the ground because, if they take damage real fast, they would rage and just destroy everything. And this guy's going off of a cliff with the dino,
Dude, remember that one time we went to go raid that team's base, and we're sitting there like shooting our freaking wooden bow and arrows. Freaking Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Aggroing, run.
Yandu comes behind me and like
Pushes
punches me.
you.
I slide down the rock, and then the freaking Tyrannosaurus Rex ran up the
Oh,
freaking
yeah.
mountain.
killed everybody.
We
Yeah.
all lost all of our best gear.
To be fair, I
Awesome
just meant to
bow.
push you close to the edge. I didn't mean to push you off the edge.
And why do you guys keep calling me a troll? This guy over here.
Oh man.
Almighty, come on now.
That's what it's about, man. It's about the memories. It's about having fun.
Yeah,
Early access or not, it's good memories. It's good times. So
note to
that's
self,
what I.
never go out there with Yandu.
Yeah.
Note to self.
Yeah, and that. Watch your back. Watch your back.
How am I getting pinned as the troll? We all knew who the troll is in this group. God
Hey.
dang it.
Hey, in Ark, apparently it was you, man. I mean,
Apparently.
All right.
Don't
Well-
you like to be a troll in Warframe?
You can.
You
Almighty
can.
figured it out.
you can. Yeah.
Isn't that
Loki.
friendly?
All you need is Loki, and just his ability is you trade places with the other player, and you basically stalk them around the map and just constantly switch positions with them. And at first, most of them don't really understand what's going on. They think it's like lag, but it's so good.
I feel like you figured out other ways, like getting an ability that has a large blast radius and turning the color of that ability to white and blinding everyone in the map.
Blinding light,
I mean,
the static
don't
core.
forget about that.
It basically drops everybody's frames to 15. So it's a fun one I like to play with. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to one of our next topics here. So I wanted to talk to you guys about E3. What are you guys' thoughts about E3 coming up here? Now, I think it's only in a couple of weeks, if not mistaken. And probably the biggest news that I've heard, or what's making its rounds right now, is normally we're used to having what people call the big three. So we have Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. And again, the news it's making the rounds where only Microsoft will be at E3. Sony and Nintendo are going to be, I don't want to say a no-show, but I think they're going to have what they call directs, where it's just going to be some sort of streamed, pre-recorded video, something along those lines. And Microsoft will be really the only one in attendance, with some of the other big AAA developers. I think Ubisoft and some of the other ones will be there. So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think it leaves a lot to be to speculate. I know they're talking the next gaming system, the next Xbox, the driveless Xbox.
Mhm.
But for a lot of us gamers, I know we were just talking about getting a new game system, and it's like, do we possibly go and get the Scorpio, or do we wait and see what's coming out next? And I think things like Xbox not being there, you really don't know what to expect or what you should buy next. I mean, I guess it saves a little money for this year, because now we don't know if we should buy a new console or not.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I guess the dynamics will be a little bit different now, since you would almost feel like they feed off of each other to a certain extent, and trying to one up
that
each other or
competition.
whatever. Exactly. Yeah. And I think having competition is good. And again, it's not that Sony and Nintendo are going away, in no means. I mean, I think we all know that Microsoft is the one that's kind of hurting, if you will, at least within the console space. But yeah, it is. I think it'll be interesting, man. I think that's a good point. And
They're not
yeah.
going to E3 because they know everyone's going to PC.
Could be.
Oh,
That could be
yeah.
something. One of the
There
other
you go.
things I think about too, like another dynamic on, like, you look at games like that have been overpromised. They make these supercomputer graphic, like Anthem and Battlefront, where they promise these games and they show these 10-minute clips of games that are so overpromised, and then when the game comes out, it's a failure because people are expecting something that they just don't get.
It looks
And
nothing
I think
like the
I
game.
think some of these companies are like realizing that's a mistake, to overpromise and underdeliver, and they almost are just avoiding that method of delivering a game.
Well, it's so funny because I think so many times what was it? It was like the Call of Duties, and you would buy the game, and next thing you know, the game looks nothing like what, to your point, the clips look like.
Exactly.
That game hype.
Yeah, I think again, it goes back to just state of gaming right now. It's again, I don't think early access for everything should be the way to go, but to kind of mitigate what Yandu's talking about, or what you're saying, as far as we want to promise you all this, but at the end of the day, it's just not even close to what they're promising. But again, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I I am actually excited to see what Microsoft does with this new way of going about E3, whether you do have the competition there or not. And again, from a console standpoint, I think we're about there as far as announcing new consoles coming up, whatever new technology will be included in there, and go from there. I think they were saying by 2020, we might see it as early as 2020, where Microsoft will have its new iteration of Scorpio, or Sony its new version of, well, I'm assuming PlayStation 5, since they keep that naming convention pretty standard year after year. But yeah, we'll see. Did you guys hear too that Nintendo's apparently they're releasing a new model for the Switch? I don't know if you guys heard that.
Mm-mm.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, apparently there's it's I don't know if it'll be aligned right within E3, but it's still going to be the Switch. It's just kind of like an upgraded model or version of it, if you will. Not sure whatever the specs or the internals of it, but I've seen a couple of news blogs talking about it.
Do you
Wait,
guys
was it-
know what games are coming out at E3?
I'm assuming what Halo Infinite. What else
Yeah, it
is
looks
coming?
like the new Call of Duty.
New Call
Is
of
there a
Duty,
new Call of
probably.
Duty?
Yeah.
Yeah, the new. I think it's supposed to be the new Modern Warfare. They didn't go
Oh,
back to
okay.
that.
So another
Gears.
remaster.
Oh, Gears.
Oh no!
Gears, man.
Let me take a second and talk about that. Killicron, what can you tell us about Gears 5, man? I know you shared with us when the developers were doing a live stream, I think, on Twitch regarding Gears 5. I don't know how in depth they got into it, but anything you can share with the group?
Well, they couldn't really talk about it at that
Sure.
stream. Game's not out yet. That's what they said. People were asking questions and they couldn't answer them at that point. But Gears is amazing.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think just to see, I've actually been really excited for our next shooter game. I think about when we used to play Halo 2, and we'd go a few nights in a row without losing any games. Man, it
The
was
memories.
it was just so fun. It was nice
Right.
because it was a good 8-on-8. There hasn't really been any good games that have had. I mean, I think they either went really big, like Fortnite,
Overwatch.
50v. Yeah, well, Overwatch is still what, 5-on-5, 6-on-6.
6v6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like that Halo with that 8-on-8. I thought that was a perfect number. It was enough to get a good group in. I mean, heck, Fortnite 50-on-50, just too much stuff going on all the time. Halo was nice because you get in there 8v8. You strategize a little bit.
I love that. I love that chess match, especially when you're a group of friends, like
Mhm.
where you're communicating and all that. And Overwatch is definitely that game for me right now. Yeah.
Right. So what do you guys think? You think Gears 5 should have like a battle royale to keep
Yes.
up with everybody else?
Yes.
Like Battlefield,
100%.
Call of Duty.
Oh,
I'm
Killer
done with
Crime.
Battle Royale.
You just
100%.
gave me a chub.
You mentioned Battle Royale. Everybody speaks up. Everybody's got something to say about Battle Royale.
Yeah, I hate it.
I hate it as well.
Yeah.
You know what? It's the thing right now. I
Tell me what
don't
you
say
like
that
about
they
it.
should
What about
comply
it?
to what the norm is right now and go that route. But I think I will give this to Gears. Gears has played it pretty safe for the most part. I think really the only one of the big differences with Gears, at least from the previous Gears to Gears 4, which is the newest game that came out a couple years ago, maybe 3. I think they bumped up that. No, I'm sorry. This Gears 3 did this as well, where they bumped up the player count from your 4v4 to 5v5. But that
Yeah.
was as much as it changed. If you think about it, the formula has pretty much been the same. So I honestly wouldn't mind if they kind of throw that in and add it and see where it goes with it. And again, I'm being biased here because, as you guys all know, I'm probably the biggest fan out of the whole group, or really close to Killer, if not the same when it comes to Gears. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it goes, and go from there. Another game that I've heard a little bit. I think it just actually came out news-wise. Is Minecraft Earth. I know to some extent, all of us have enjoyed Minecraft. Some more, some others. Manny has probably nightmares with Almighty putting lava on his house
Oh,
back on the
man.
Xbox face.
Was that me? Was
but
that me?
That was on.
Oh.
So let me tell you.
So-
hold
I
on.
don't
No,
remember.
I broke down Manny's house because I thought he burned my tree house. There was
Mhm.
actually lightning that hit it.
The
See?
truth comes out.
That's a good truth.
But I did destroy his whole house.
You
Don't
say it
fall
comes
for it,
back to me,
guys.
but it always comes back to Almighty.
Don't fall for it,
Okay.
guys. It was Almighty.
Okay, it's coming back to Almighty. I gotta say something about the E3 Sony Nintendo bailout. Not to bring it back, but I wanted to let you guys talk about it and then come back to it. But anyway, my thoughts on it. Big mistake for Nintendo and for Sony. E3, just to clarify for the listener, you're talking to guys who have been gamers all their lives, who have basically been following E3 since its inception. And it's a way for not just the companies that make the consoles to show off, what vision they have for the future, but for game companies to show off, the best of the best on what's coming. And for them to pull out, huge mistake.
Yeah.
Xbox is gonna kill this year. They're
No.
definitely going to run
I
away
think-
with it.
I think
Well,
there's
they're
probably a
gonna be the
reason
only
why.
ones there.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I think it's a reason why they pulled out though. Maybe not ready yet. What their titles?
I think that's a good point. So a couple of things. So Sony has been, I don't want to say lacking because clearly they have the exclusives, the single player exclusives. God of War, I know Yondu and Kill, I think you guys are the ones that own Kill, you guys are the ones that owns PlayStation right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yep.
I know God of War, obviously, Game of the Year, left and right. I don't even want to say arguably. I think it's pretty straightforward.
Oh,
Last
amazing.
of Us,
Yeah.
Spider-Man was up there as well. The other one too, Horizon Zero Dawn. I know. I think we're getting close to a sequel for that one, if not mistaken.
That's what I've heard. I don't know too much about it, but I'm hoping so. I'm still working my way through the first one, but I have.
yeah.
I think they're coming out with a number 2.
Yeah, I think right now they're really focusing on Last of Us right now. So
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's one of their big ones, right?
right.
But do you guys think that they pulled out because we all know that it's a big expense for them to run these shows?
Right.
And
Like I was kind of saying before, man, I really think that you look at a company like PlayStation and they look at the hype, the hype that they're building around some of these games has not paid off when you
Right.
overhype these games. So I think they're really pulling back and focusing on what they're doing, so that when it comes out, it's great and there's not a ton of hype. There's no underwhelming, sense behind the game. I think that's what they're doing. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I feel like they
Or
want
they're
to
just
focus.
trying to do like their own reveal
Yeah,
and not have to go to E3. Just do it on their own whenever they want.
on their own terms. Yeah, that may be as well.
And you know what? Nintendo's probably the the best at that. I think Nintendo's one of those that just don't care. They do their own thing, and they always come up front. They're the ones that, if not mistaken, I think they're leading sales out of the other two or out of the big three, and the Switch is killing it. They're just consoles units alone. I think they're selling by far.
That Switch. I don't know if any of you guys. One of our friends, they bought one for the kids, and man, that Switch it's so neat. It's so convenient. It's a tablet with controllers. It travels easy. It hooks up directly to the TV. Nintendo's really onto something with that Switch and really the dynamic and the use of it. The ease of it, I guess.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I think. I agree. They've definitely done a great job with that unit. And again, I'm curious to see what these little blogs that I was reading, what this new iteration for the Switch will be. And yeah, it's, again, it caters to families. It caters to, I don't want to say just the young ones, but if not mistaken, I think, Lacron, you even, I think you either have or had a Switch, and I know you played some Zelda as well, right?
Yeah, I had a Switch. I own all the consoles, Xbox, PlayStation, but I had no time for it, so I gave it away or sold it.
Yep.
But it was a good console. Zelda was awesome. I also played Smash Bros. And Mario Kart. Mario Kart was big too.
Didn't it connect pretty easily to like the TV? I know, like even like there how it can, well, not so much inside the car, but the kids use it as a tablet inside the car.
Yeah, the kids, I have nieces and nephews that have it, and they bring it over all the time, so it's easy for them to use. It's easy for them to connect with, multiple switches if they're
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What about the cross-platform? Do you guys think that all the consoles are going to be almost around the same price? Because it's like if you can play the same game with someone that has an Xbox or PlayStation, how much is Xbox going to sell their console, and how much is PlayStation going to sell their console for? Because if one of them's cheaper than the other one, why not just buy the cheapest one?
Well, and I think that to your point, like for example, PlayStation has a lot of really great exclusives, and I could definitely see my next console. I've always been a huge fan of Microsoft, but I could see my next console being a PlayStation.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's a new console, I'm going PlayStation this time. The only game I like.
100%.
Yeah, the only game right now I like on Microsoft is Gears, but
Well, and that's a good point with the whole cross-platform. I mean, with Microsoft, as we talked a little bit earlier, you can very easily play if it's an Xbox exclusive, they'll allow you to play it on PC. So
Right.
all of us have PCs and play on PCs. So that does take away from maybe you don't need an Xbox after all, because those exclusives you're going to be able to play on PC and again have that cross-platform or cross-playability, I guess you could say. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the three. But yeah, I mean, good time to be alive. I mean, I think competition is good. We'll see where it goes. And
What do you
yeah,
guys
I
think
mean,
about this,
excited about it.
though? What do you guys think about this? So, I personally think that I feel like we're almost to like the end of the console gaming system. Like we're seeing it end
Maybe. I mean, people said that about
because
PC
a lot
like
of focus.
5, 6, 7 years ago. Like
Yeah,
PC gaming's over. You
but
just don't know.
PC
You don't know what's gonna happen. I mean,
But
Oh.
you look at what's going on. A lot of companies are throwing a lot of money into cloud gaming,
yeah.
and Sony and Microsoft, they just signed that deal where actually Sony's going to be
Yeah.
using Microsoft's Azure, I think,
Azure,
something,
yep.
something like that, and that's to compete with Google's cloud gaming service that they're going to be coming out with.
I mean, I just don't think the infrastructure is in place. I mean, we haven't really seen a good example of what cloud gaming is. I mean, Crackdown 3 was promised that it was going to be the ultimate display of, cloud gaming, and that thing was just an absolute flop. So we haven't really seen anything that's come out that's
I
like,
feel like you're
they can do it,
partially right. Partially right, partially wrong, because we have the NVIDIA stream box, and that
Shield.
the Shield, that's right.
I mean, do you know anybody who uses that? I don't.
No, because it's definitely what is it, niche item, and
Yeah.
there's only certain people have it, but it works really well, and they were kind of like the first company to really start that, and everybody else is seeing how successful it is. They want that multi-device gaming experience where you can play on your phone, you can switch to your TV, you can play on your computer, and you're only going to get that with cloud gaming.
I think Microsoft. I know when they were coming out with one, the one thing is they were looking for a unit to be a household unit. So they wanted it to be obviously a gaming unit. They also wanted to have your Hulu, your Netflix, your everything.
Exactly.
And so to that point, I don't see that being the case, because like for example, with my family, my Xbox One, is really our center entertainment piece. I mean, heck, it was kind of funny. I remember when I bought my 60, my when I went and bought it, and I got my controller, and then you remember you had to buy the extra wireless adapter.
Right.
And my wife was so pissed like that I was buying all these small things, and then next thing you know, now fast forward to our Xbox One. As soon as I had an issue and it broke, she was like, "Well, we got to go to Best Buy right now and buy a brand new one." And so,
But dude, the funny part about that is like every TV comes with that stuff built in these days. That's why like it kind of scared me. Like one of the things I saw, like one of the VPs say, I'm pretty sure in an article the other day from PlayStation, was like, we want to be the central, entertainment hub. I'm like, oh, please don't make the same mistakes as Xbox. No one cares about that. We just want you to make badass exclusives, please. Because
You know
every
what's
TV comes pre-built with a damn Netflix, and
That's a good point.
you know what I mean. I don't need you to be my entertainment hub. I just want you to play my, make the best exclusives so I can get on there and play those. That's it. I
Dude,
don't care if it can play Netflix. I don't.
I find it so interesting that as you go through the different cycles of new consoles and new generations like that, uh, and not to throw crap on Sony, but kind of to what Yondu's saying, it almost seems like they're doing what Microsoft did when the Xbox One was being released. Everybody
Yes.
remembers that big fiasco behind Microsoft and all the bad press they got at that one E3. And
You saw that announcement too, Bacon?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. So
I'm like, what?
it's really crazy for me to I mean, I don't think they're dumb.
Yeah,
Clearly they're not.
Right.
But why do what Microsoft did when you clearly saw the repercussions behind it?
It's exactly what I thought when I saw the article.
But that was a different time, though, and I feel like that they kind of had a vision of the future. Yeah, the whole digital rights thing was a bad thing by Xbox at that time. But look at us now. Most content that people play is all downloaded from the digital store. No one really buys hard disk games anymore.
Yeah.
Agree 100%.
Yeah, I buy collector's editions, so
that's a thing. I mean,
I'm not saying there isn't a market, though. There's still a market for it,
Yeah.
but it's just not as big as it used to be because it's a lot easier just to go onto the market and download it. That's it.
See, Omari, I agree 100% with you. I just think maybe it's more the way that the delivery of the message. Clearly, Microsoft, they had no idea what they were thinking. I don't know if they surveyed people and they thought that everybody was going to be, again, back then, you're right, different times. I think the adoption of digital, media has clearly shown that it's favorable than with the exception of Kilocron and his legendary Overwatch
statue poster pack.
But for and Funko Pops, we won't go there, but yeah, that's another one.
Nah.
So, but no, I think the way they deliver the message, whether it's Microsoft, Sony, and really the perception that the consumer walks out, from that event or streaming or whatever it is, I think that'll be the key. But again, we'll see. We'll see where it goes, and again, I think the fact that we have competition and it's just not one sole company running the show, I think that's where gamers win, if you will.
Oh,
and go from there. So.
I think just like one more thing on that, part of it too is did you see when Facebook was going before, the government talking about technology, and you see these guys? I get the same feeling like maybe some of these execs, they're not gamers. Yeah, they're out of touch. They're like, we should do this. And then the people underneath them are like, okay, even though they know better because they're the techie people. And they just go with it because they're higher up people, but they really don't even know how their way around a system. I think that happens as well.
I agree.
Can you just tell me how this World Wide Web works?
So
what's Google? Yeah, so out of touch. I think ego plays a little bit in there, but going back to the games that we were looking at. I know we mentioned it briefly, but we were talking about Minecraft Earth. Have you guys had a chance to see this thing?
I have not.
I saw a little bit of it. I didn't really see a preview. It was just like a quick little video just saying, hey, here's Minecraft Earth, and there was like kids walking in the street, and you see like the dog and the duck and some like octopus creature like going in the buildings. I'm guessing it's what they're saying is it's going to be like Pokemon Go kind of.
Right.
So there's a augmented reality aspect to it. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so cool. Just to give everybody a little bit of a background, I did have the chance to look at the trailer, and so there's going to be a beta release coming out this summer. They didn't specify a date yet, but if anyone's interested, you can just go to their website, and right on top, it lets you know. So the reason where Minecraft Earth came about, kind of like a surprise drop, if you will, from Microsoft. They try to align it with the 10-year. I didn't even know it was a 10-year anniversary for Minecraft, but that's kind of how it led into this. There's a Minecon for Minecraft that takes place, and again, based on the 10-year anniversary of Minecraft, this was one of those surprise drops that they did, and obviously all the people that were there fell in love with it, and that's exactly it. It's a Pokemon Go AR type of game where with your mobile, tablet, whatever device, you just look up, and all of a sudden you can. I don't know yet if you just construct or
You
build
snap a picture. It looks
like
you snap-
Minecraft, right? So
How do I go
is it-
mining though?
Is it tied to
Find some diamonds.
Microsoft HoloLens at all, or is it just?
I have a feeling it has something to do with it.
Yeah.
So that's the really cool thing. You don't need. They did share this on the website when you sign up and where the trailer's at, where you do not. This is the really cool part. You do not need any additional equipment or devices. They're literally using your camera, but to your point, using whatever research they've been making about their whole AR, because apparently they've been doing quite a bit on that and pushing it to a certain extent. But literally anything that has a camera to it, you'll be able to the AR will kick in at that point. And what you'll be able to do, I don't know. I don't know if you'll be able to dig or just construct, or I'm not sure.
And that technology has kind of evolved over the years because
Right.
Snapchat, Facebook filters.
Sure.
But one thing we all know is going to happen with this, as it happens with all AR games on mobile devices, especially old ones. As soon as you load it up, you're going to be able to play it for 10 minutes, and then your battery is going to be completely dead.
Yeah. Good point. Well, yeah, I just want to share that with the team. Any other thoughts? Any other games that you guys?
I'm gonna play the Minecraft AR. I'm just gonna put a whole bunch of penises all over the place,
There you
and
go.
hopefully everybody else can see them.
There you go. Hey,
Goals.
sharing is caring after all.
Oh
and then
my
of course
god!
you'll be allowed to pick up your kids from their elementary school. Hashtag registered sex
I didn't even
offender.
think about it that way. You see other people's creation as you're walking down the street. That would be
so.
I think there's something along those lines as well. They didn't really go into detail how the server shared with others, or if it's based on local or proximity. But it's going to be really cool, man. I think we're getting to a point where honestly, what's coming to mind is Ready Player One, whether you liked it or not, movie wise, that scene where just the masses are raiding together, if you will. And I think it would be so cool to get to that point where, whether you're going outside, doing some exercise, whatever the case might be, but you'll be able to just, hey,
Jaeger said he put his Pokemon Go in his car and drove around the neighborhoods.
dude, you can be taking a dump, do your thing.
dude. When Pokemon Go first came out, I was one of the people that was walking around the streets trying
Dude.
to freaking get
Oh,
Pokemon.
dude,
Dude,
me
my
too.
whole family
Remember-
it was great.
Remember how many people were out, dude? You would hear
Yeah.
of masses going for this weird Pokemon, very,
Oh yeah.
I don't know, whatever it was. I'm not too much into Pokemon, but dude, it took everyone by surprise, and I think the adoption rate was insane for that game.
Wasn't there a lot of accidents because of Pokemon?
Probably.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yes, there was.
I know. I would go up to the park and I would see 1 million people staring at their phone walking around. It was insane.
See, that's what I'm saying. I think the potential is there. We'll see how Microsoft, takes care of it. But again, I think they'll do good with it. We'll just, I guess we'll wait till the summer and see what comes out of it.
Now,
One
if-
more game, or go ahead, Omar.
I was gonna say, if they can get down like the community battles, because that was the one thing that sucked with Pokemon Go. If
Yeah.
they can bring like a big boss and like everybody gets to this location and
Yes.
can attack,
Yes.
the Ender Dragon or something, that would
That'd be
kinda
cool.
That would be really cool, actually.
Or you're gonna have Almighty pouring lava on people's castles and shit.
Exactly.
Go.
Exactly.
Yeah. fight
And
'em.
you can always troll. I'm
Hey,
sure you'll have plenty
Wait a
of
minute.
those.
Why do I keep assuming that was me? You just admitted that you did that. You
You know how many phones Jaeger broke by taping his phone to the ceiling fan? 3.
So the next one is
How to
not
hatch the egg?
The next one's not necessarily a new game, but I want to get your thoughts on the following. So Red Dead just came up with a pretty big update, and the way Rockstar is really planning it to the masses, they're exiting their beta stage specifically for online, and there's been, I'll just say it. I was really into Red Dead when it came out. Story was great. I would even say that it was one of those contenders as well for Game of the Year. Again, just from the single player alone. And then you have the multiplayer aspect of it. Rockstar, as we all know, with GTA 5, there is just a freaking cash cow, and people still play it nonstop. So it was a little bit disappointed when Red Dead Online came out, and it almost felt like the support was not there. I'm assuming the focus was more on GTA, whatever the case might be. So, but now they're really trying to revive, if you will, the online piece of it. And this new update it seems to be pretty promising. Have you guys heard about it?
Yeah, so like I'm a huge Rockstar fan, and so I think the thing about
Doing all the
Red-
glitches to become a billionaire.
look, I
Manny
live
does. I'll tell you that.
You
I
can't
live
do that on
vicariously-
this game.
Almighty's still overdrawn on GTA 5. Someone help him out.
Yeah. I'm still trying to get my car out of the lake.
Don't tell anybody.
He's getting collection
Hold on.
calls as we speak.
real funny story. So on GTA, I glitch and I give Jan his car, and it's a pretty sweet ride.
It was
and I
nice.
tell Yandu,
Oh
and
my
I was like,
God.
hey, I'll drive the car into the ocean. It turns into a submarine. Now there's a car that turns into a submarine. That time, he was so.
This is how
close.
much trust I have in my new friend. We're pretty new friends, man. I'm
They
like,
were at that time, he drives his car into the ocean, and then like he doesn't have enough money to pay for the insurance to get it back.
yeah. So that car was done.
But no, the Red Dead Redemption. The thing is I think GTA was such to Bacon such a huge cash cow. Made so much money from it. I think there's so many cool aspects to it, but I think the thing that made Red Dead so fun was like the ability to go fish or to go hunt and like kind of the like kind of the I guess like being quiet time, I guess, to yourself. But it's crazy is like you get in freaking Red Dead Online and you have freaking random ass people coming and shooting you and killing you and then just waiting for you to spawn and kept killing you. Terrible. And I
Yeah.
know that they kind of fixed that as well. Kind of they push people away to other servers and give you free time to yourself.
Or
So
teammates, coming up and possibly knifing you from behind.
Or lassoing you and dragging you with their damn horses all over the freaking map.
So did
Dude, that's
did
the
any
same
of you
thing
guys
on
spend money on
GTA.
GTA? Did you guys spend money on that? Did you buy
Nah, man,
shark
we
bucks or whatever?
glitched everything.
All right.
The funniest thing about, I know we're talking about Red Dead, but the funniest thing about GTA, when it first came out and the online was actually working like a month out after it came out, we would go we would go to convenience stores, and with your headset on, you would yell all kinds of crap to try to intimidate the cashier, and the more you would yell, the more cash they would give you. Now, keep in mind, at this time, I don't think glitches were out just yet, so you would get an extra $20, and you thought you were the shit just because you got an extra $20. Now, fast forward a month
Wait.
after that.
No. One thing to add in there: it was open chat, and you didn't have the option to really like
Good
go into a
point.
party. So
Okay.
everyone on the server would hear you yelling at the cashier.
Dude,
But-
some of those glitches were tricky, man. I know, like, it would take me on those glitches, and like you'd be having a photosensitive seizure from the like I can't see anything. The whole screen shaking. I'm pretty sure my Xbox has crashed. He's like, "Nah, this is how it goes. You just wait, and then you walk through this door, and then it would work. You'd have $1 million." I'm like, who coded this? How does this work?
He's
But-
gonna get me banned from GTA Online.
I always wonder that, like, who found out the glitches? Because one of
Yeah.
the glitches on GTA 5, you had to pick up a hooker,
Yeah.
take her to an alley, get out of the car and shoot her in the head real quick while the hooker was still in the car, take the car to the garage, go back out, your car was outside, and then you had another car in the garage, and then you go sell the car and make money. Like, who found out how to do
Yeah.
that?
Then your game freezes. You unplug your power cord, hold the power button for 5 seconds,
No.
plug it back in. It was weird, man. But that was like a nod to like people who are willing to like figure that shit out. That shit doesn't end up in there by
No.
accident.
But
See, and-
that's a good point. Like the big thing, like I think about GTA Online, to kind of bring it back to the like Red Dead piece, is that money, right? Like actual money is what made the game learn glitches on GTA, and I think that was the huge issue with Red Dead Online. Is their economy was so messed up. I mean, you would get $2 for this and $1.70 for that. And next thing you know, a rifle costs $86. So 7.5 years later, in real lifetime, you have enough money to buy a gun, and then you
A
get like
rusty barreled
Inflation.
rifle. Yeah.
inflation.
Well, and I
I-
think that was one of the if not mistaken, I think that was one of the big updates for Red Dead, where when the online first came out, they had this. So there was there is two types of currency in Red Dead, where specifically online and actually on the
Gold and
single player
money.
too. Exactly, you have gold and you have cash. Gold is basically a way to level up quicker, if you will, or try to get items without you having to level up. But again, that's where this pay to win model comes in. And part of this new update is I think they toned down that whole pay to win mentality, which is I think that's a good thing, for sure, a good thing. Anytime you can, I mean, if it's cosmetics and you just want to make them look better,
Yes,
fine.
exactly.
But the moment that you have an advantage because you're paying again for the advantage and you're put on the same world as other players that don't have that advantage, that's where I think it gets a little tricky, and I'm not necessarily a
Yeah, and that's probably been not to get sidetracked, but huge fan of like Overwatch. Everything in that game you pay for is cosmetic, but everything else is fair game.
Yeah. Especially on the multiplayer game like that, 100%. Yeah.
I think all games should be like that.
Yeah.
Cosmetic stuff I don't mind paying for, especially if you can choose it. I don't like loot
optional.
boxes.
give the player the option.
Yeah, and I think they would make a lot more money that way. But making it,
One
Yeah,
of the
when you start
big,
forcing
one of the biggest abuses of that system that I've seen recently is like Fortnite, man. Like, there's so many kids out there that spent like $100 on every time they got to get a battle pass and then a next skin that comes out. It's just, I don't know, man.
See, and I don't want to give him credit, but the fine line I think with Fortnite is that in a way it's really just a cosmetic that they're
It
unlocking,
is.
but the
It
way
is.
that they is I don't know if I agree with those practices. I don't want to sound like a hypocrite where I just said if it's only cosmetics we're fine, but
Right.
I think the way that Fortnite introduced that is I don't know if I agree with that approach either.
Yeah,
but,
the predatory practices
Exactly.
can be done in different ways. I don't know. That one just felt weird to me. I don't
Yeah.
know why. But if you're a
Well-
parent and you have a kid that played that game, you could understand what I'm saying.
Why not?
Absolutely.
And-
You know, can
and
I
most
get the
of
next
us-
battle pass because I want to get this skin? Like with like what Manny was saying with Overwatch. Like I tell my kid, just play the game. You'll get loot boxes. You get all the skins. With
Did you guys see the
Fortnite,
thing
you
that
had to pay. So I don't know.
you guys see the thing Fortnite is doing?
But
For
you
the
still have to
company that's whoever plays Fortnite for like 50 hours gets like $1,000 in internet.
Oh,
Mhm.
I did see that. Yes.
Is that
Did anyone
real?
hear about this? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
dude.
thing.
Did
Like
you
you're
sign
supposed
up?
to like no, because I hate Fortnite.
Yeah, it's not worth it. You could give me $1 million.
Like you have to play Fortnite for 50 hours.
Yeah,
a week.
Stream
I'm
it.
out. I'm out.
So they sweeten the deal a little bit though. So it's an ISP internet service provider from Utah, if I'm not mistaken. And what they're doing, you don't have to live in Utah. You can live wherever it is. And basically, they set you up with whatever the local ISP is. So in our case, it would be I don't know Cox, CenturyLink, and they'll provide you a router and they'll provide you internet for free. You don't have to pay for the internet. And they want you to test it out by playing Fortnite, to Jaeger's point. And yeah, they'll pay you $1,000 if you make it, through the interview rounds or whatever the case might be if you qualify for it. But again, Fortnite is what's selling, especially with a younger crowd. So I guess a great hook, to get people to try it out.
We could throw
Yeah.
the link up on our Instagram or something
Yeah.
for anybody that's
can-
interested in doing that. Because I mean, it's 50 hours, $1,000. That ain't a bad deal to play a video game. So
And that's it. All right. Well, with that said, as far as new games, I wanted to ask you guys new technology or any other topics that you guys had in mind. Well, anything that you guys are looking forward to? Any recent news?
Anybody want to talk politics or religion?
Yeah.
Get out of
Yes.
here. Someone
Let's
take your
do
mic.
it.
We're not
Yes.
there yet. Not there yet.
Okay.
New technology. We were talking about ray tracing. There's a lot of discussion on that right now about, what is it adding to the game experience? I mean, really, because the payoff is that you turn on ray tracing, you get to see people in windows but you get like half the frames.
Yeah, the frames are rough.
Yeah, and they've kind of improved on it, since its release of the 20 series GPUs. But still, it has a lot to go, and they also opened it up to the older 10 series cards, but really, it's kind of minimal on those right now. But I guess what do you guys feel about ray tracing? Is it something like you guys are interested in?
I think it's useless.
I like it a lot. I mean, you've looked at some of the games they came out. They've showed Minecraft. They showed Half-Life. They've showed, I think Quake or something like that. They showed some games where it's really cool and promising. But at this time, I'm not going to invest in a RTX video card to get 10 frames a second trying to play some of these games. I'm pretty happy with my 10 series card, and I don't know. It's cool, and I think it really bodes well for the future, and obviously it's going to be awesome. But right now, I'm good.
I agree.
Like eventually, every game is going to come out with ray tracing eventually.
Right.
But it's just starting.
Yeah, NVIDIA just, is, they're obviously the top of the line. They introduced the technology. It's now kind of like a standard, and it's only going to get better from here. But I didn't get a 20 series card because in my opinion, from all the stats that I saw when comparing, frame rates, it really wasn't that much of a difference between the 10 series cards and the 20 series cards. It's and also in terms of the cost as well. It seems like the cards got a lot more expensive for just a little bit
for this
more
one
performance.
Feature,
yeah. Well, so like Almighty, you're still running a 9 series card and you're playing all the games we're playing. Like, are you still like the 970s?
Dang, he just called you poor.
Yeah.
No, dude, my 970 card.
No, man, I think it's awesome.
I mean, I was honestly thinking about getting a 20 series card, but like I said, with any new card release, I always take my time and see what the numbers are first, and it just wasn't enough to push me over the edge. So I'm really looking forward to the next series, or if it comes to it, I might just move to AMD.
Team
I
Red?
might have to move to AMD. Yeah, maybe.
Dang.
Yeah, well, what I was going to
ask... At least you didn't pay so much for a 1060 like Bacon did.
Oh.
Because like 2 weeks later, it went down in price.
Quick disclosure so that everyone knows what happened with my 1060. So I have a 1060, the 6 gig. So this will tell you a little bit about myself. The card itself was $280, I think. It was the Asus something. It's a 1066 gig.
Open box at Fry's Electronics.
NVIDIA
I got it. It wasn't at the barbershop. I bought it from Amazon, but this is how I paid for the card. Have you guys ever seen or get emails about doing test drives? And if you do a test drive, you get a $50 gift card.
Oh, I don't do that.
So don't do that, moment. Well, let me fill you in how this works. Here and there, the Hyundai or Nissan or whatever, they'll do these little promos where they say, "Hey, come and do a test drive, and if you do a test drive, we'll give you a $50 gift card." And it can be a Visa, an Amazon card, whatever the case might be. So I said, okay. I don't even know what was the card that I had before this. What card did I have, Almighty? I don't even remember what card I had. Anyways, so I did this test driving.
Card you have?
I know it was an AMD.
I think it was an AMD. Well, anyways,
3790.
Yeah. Oh no.
I made that.
And it was the one that you let me borrow. It was
it was 670.
No, it was the 660.
No, that was a 7 series, like a
7 series.
I think so. I don't know. It was one of the recent AMD cards.
It was either okay, so we'll say it was a 760 Ti, whatever it was.
Something.
Anyways, I take 3 days. It was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I did like maybe six or seven different just test drives with different companies. They were all pretty much offering the same type of promo with this gift card. They were all Amazon gift cards. And before you knew it, I had $300 in gift cards from Amazon, and that's what got me my card. So there you go.
Wow.
There you go.
Setting the standards.
Just setting standards, man.
I fell asleep.
What car did you test drive though?
I think it was a Hyundai Sonata. It was what
Hold
was
on.
it? An Outback.
So,
Outback. That's a
Yeah, I
good car.
think it's an Outback. Yeah, that was another one. Well, and then the thing is that, of course, there's always exploits to these things.
I
Not
thought
that I
you were
do
saying
exploits,
gift
but
cards. I am so confused what you were doing.
Yeah.
We'll talk more after the podcast.
tell us more about your car experience, Bacon.
Well, it was great. I just
mean-
showed up and I said, "Hey guys, I had this email that you guys sent me." I was playing along, and I said, "I'm not interested in the car, but if I need to do the test drive, let's go."
I'm using this to get a
and-
new GPU.
And that's
How was the Fiat? Were you able to get your big ass in there?
No,
Bacon
definitely
spent
not
an
white.
entire weekend going around in different
Promo
gift cards
exploit.
to Amazon.
Hey, dude, you got to work it, man. All right, let's
Hold
bring
on,
it back.
hold on, real quick. Funny story.
Enough about Bacon and his
One-
shady tactics to get a new
One time, Bacon was like, "Hey, we're gonna go to Vegas and we're gonna get free hotel rooms." He goes, "We just have to listen
Timeshare,
to the
timeshare.
God.
seminar." So we go to listen to the timeshare seminar, and this lady is like really selling us. And then finally, she realizes that Bacon and his wife and mine and my wife aren't gonna buy. So she starts telling us, "Well, yeah, it's probably because you guys can't afford it." And so she started calling us
Straight
for
out,
the rest
dude.
of the presentation. But we sure as hell left with smiles on our face and 2 gift cards to go eat at the buffet for free. So
Yes, sir.
I'll be poor the whole
Yes,
time.
sir.
Well, I mean, what type of pressure is that? Were you guys like sweaty and all that? or-
No, dude.
No?
I just show up and I
Bacon did this
say,
on the
"Look, I'm not
weekend.
interested."
He has
Okay.
zero. Bacon doesn't break a sweat. He went and drove at 8 different dealerships for gift cards.
Dude, you just tell them, "Look, I don't want to waste your time. I'm here for
But-
the gift card. If we have to do the test drive, let's go. Here's my fake ID and let's do it."
Hold on.
They yeah, but salesmen, they you don't walk away. Like you're gonna be there for a minute, no?
Dude, you'll be surprised. I don't think one of them gave me a hard time.
They
or
just
did
hand you
whole
the gift
back
card
forth.
and that's it.
I did not do one test drive, and dude, it took, I'll say, 10 minutes each. So the investment,
Hold on.
Yeah, but you drove across town.
dude, who cares?
Wasted like
$300, man.
wasted $300 on gas.
Bacon
Aw,
got 8 $5 gift cards to Amazon.
Almighty, bring us back, my man. Where can people find us, please? Almighty.
Somebody say bacon.
And so, are we? I think we're gonna end it here. Is that cool
Yeah,
with everybody?
So
Yeah.
go, please. Where can people find us? Where can people follow us?
All right. Just want to say that we're new to the world of podcasting. So if you like what you hear today, definitely give our podcast a follow and a 5-star rating. If you guys like what you hear, we would really appreciate it. And we're definitely looking at building a community around the topics and things that we discuss here. If you want to contact us directly, we do have a Twitter account set up right now. The Twitter is The Digital Core. And I think I can speak for everyone in saying thank you for everyone who listened. If you can't tell, we're all kind of new at this, but we're learning, and our goal is to definitely bring weekly podcasts. So I guess until next time, we'll see y'all later.
Later, y'all.
That's it. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
End scene.
And there it is,
And
boys.
the-
Nice job, guys.
Yeah, dude.
Killer Kron, are you awake?
Oh my god, I'm fucking falling asleep. Bro, I've been painting for 10 hours.
Yeah, end it.
If we just got this early, man.
Tries to keep us in track.
That's
But-
good though.
For our
It-
first
you know,
one,
that-
I bet that's not bad. There was no like downtime. It's good.
We actually branched out into different. We branched out into a lot of different